everybody. Thank you again for watching, for your comments, for your questions. I do appreciate them. Keep them coming. I am so happy to know that my advice is useful to you. And today I want to give you advice on wedding planners. I always like to talk about vendors and help you do better than some of us did for our weddings. And to be honest, I didn't have a wedding planner on my wedding. As you may know from my book, we did it ourselves. But if you do have a wedding planner, they are a tricky bunch. And I am known for being very skeptical regarding the wedding planners. So much so that I usually resent when people call me a wedding planner. I'm very defensive and I immediately say, no, I'm not a wedding planner. Well, what are you then? Don't you do weddings? And I'm a wedding officiant and a wedding, I'm a manager and the CEO and I oversee the event and I try to explain. But the reason for it is because I have had so many bad experiences with these so-called wedding planners. It is very upsetting to me. It's truly disheartening. I always put myself in your shoes, the couple. You are paying good money for someone to provide a service for you, and you deserve reverence, efficacy, good service. So here are some pointers for picking a wedding planner. Number one. The number one thing is that you, as I said with every other vendor, you need to first know what the average price for this particular job is. In this case, a wedding planner. So if you're in New York City, for instance, which is where I am, the first thing you do is figure out what the average wedding planner price is. And the way you do this is I always recommend going to a wedding website, Wedding Wire or the Nut. Those are a couple of really good platforms. And do a search. Some will have their prices posted there, some will not, but you can just ask. You can send them an email and ask them, what do you charge for the day off planning? What do you charge for full planning a year in advance? Whatever it is that you need. So you ask, my advice would be to ask 10 people and that will give you an average. And you ask 10 people, not random people, but reputable wedding planners. Which brings me to my second piece of advice, which is when picking your wedding planner, it is so important that you check their references. Meaning, when you get a wedding, everybody who has a business here in New York, I guess anywhere, if you're a business owner or if you work for yourself, nowadays you have a presence online. What I mean by that is that when you Google the person's name, you should be able to see them online, right? The other day I was looking up a band. I was gonna go to a bar and they have live bands and someone was playing and I wanted to know who they were, what kind of music they play. So I Googled the name of the band and of course, sure enough, stuff came up from them and YouTube videos with them playing and all that. So, that informed me of what kind of band they were, who's playing, what kind of music. So this is the same. If you're hiring a wedding planner and you Google their name and you don't find anything online, that is the big red flag, and that is the big and first and very important sign that you need to stay away from them. I strongly recommend that you do not hire anybody who cannot accept reviews online. If the vendor that you hire is on Yelp or in Google, that means they have a presence online. This is information for you. This informs you that A, they're taking their job very seriously, and B, When they come to do your wedding, they will make sure that you are happy and satisfied, and they will please you as a customer. It is super important for them to do a good job because they know that if they don't perform to your expectations, you can turn around and leave a poor review or a one-star review. And nobody wants that. All of us who work in the wedding business, all of us who work with the public and work with customers, all of us who have a presence on Yelp or Wedding Wire or the Nut or Google, we know how important those reviews are, and we take really, really, really good care of our customers. That's the way it is. Now, if I am a so-called wedding planner, but not really, there's a lot of these planners that work for other companies. And on the side, they do events or they do weddings, and they say they organize or they plan the weddings. But then when you go and try to find them, they're nowhere to be found. This happened to me recently. I hired a girl that was recommended to me by a wedding planner. So neither her nor the wedding planner are anywhere online. The wedding planner's name is Cristina Cubero, and she claims to be working for many years as a planner. But when I Google her, as I said, I'm not able to find her online. She doesn't have a business on Google. She doesn't have a website. She's not listed on the Wedding Wire or the Nut. And all I could find was her LinkedIn profile, which states that she works for an event company. So there is a big difference between someone who works for an event company to someone who's an actual professional event planner. The person who works for another company is an employee. As an employee, it's a different frame of mind, right? You are an employee, you're getting paid a salary, and you follow orders, you follow you follow whatever your boss tells you to do, you go and you do it. This is very, very different from being the one person in charge of the entire event and calling the shots and having to react and be fast on your feet and be a good problem solver. The person who works for another company and does this on the side, which probably also means she'll give you a break on the price. You probably get a good price from these people. But in the long run, it's gonna hurt you. And you will not know this until the day of. You won't know this until this actually happens. Now, another big problem with these wedding planners is that they can be very persuasive and very nice and friendly. So what will happen is that they will develop a nice, friendly relationship with you, the couple, and the couple feels like they are part of the family, they are their close friend, and it's so great, and I love her. And remember, weddings are a very emotional time in your life. Everything is very subjective. Everything is not black and white. So emotions run high and things get very muddy. So if the wedding planner is crafty enough or warm enough or kind enough, and she's able to develop this warm relationship with you, you will be blindsided and you will say, oh, she's so great. But at the end of the day, it's not about making a new friend, it's about having your wedding run smoothly, properly, efficiently. For that reason, I strongly recommend that you do your homework before you get into the relationship.